little skimmer. Beautiful start to the morning. Oh, good morning. We joined me this morning on the banks of 10 Mile Bank, Kings Lynn Water, to have a go on the slider. I'm in an area locally known as the Chapel, plain and simply because the chapel's just across the way there. As you see, I just had that skimmer. I've had a few roach in a couple of small skimmers as well. I've come out this morning just to have a go on the slider, just for a few hours this morning, just to try a different area, approach it a little bit differently, and just to see what we get. So I've chosen to fish the Cadence CR10 14-foot number 2, and I've paired that up with a CS8 4000. Reason not using the number 1, which is a lot softer, this is what like is the medium 8-3, is I'm punching it out, and there is a good chance I've seen 1 or 2 fish move. There is a chance you might hit a bream in this sort of area here. So it's nice and soft on the top, but it has got that bit of power through the middle, and that also enables you to punch that float out to where you need it to be should the wind get up. So like I say, I've got the CS8 4000, I've got the 6-pound Dave Harrell Pro Match line, and I've got that down to a length of 018 Colmic King fluorocarbon, probably about 3/4 of a metre. And I've got a quick change, and I'm fishing 010 Preston Aquapower down to a size 18 Hayabusa match hook. Float I'm using is from the Benwick Sports stable. It's a Silverlight, which is their own floats, and this Silverlight Super Slider. So it's straight through, plastic antenna all the way through, no insert, lovely red tip, which I've got it dotted down to about that, and this is 3 + 8 gram. That means you've got 3 gram loading, and you can put 8 gram down the line. So what I've actually got, I've got 7 gram DH angling Olivet there. I've just got a number 9 stots up above, and I've got a line, I've got number 8s and a couple of number 9s just to trim it off just below it. That also acts as a boom to stop it folding, stop the line. As you can see there, it'll stop the line folding over to reduce tangles. Now I've got a little running bead up above the float there, and that will go against me stop knot. And just up above the quick change, I've got 3 number 9 stots, and if need be I can move them back under the float. So about the stop knots, I've got 2, as you know, there they are, and that's tied with Maverstone River, plain simply because it's easy to see, moves up and down the line easy, and I've got the 2 there, so I can move. If I want to come up off the bottom, I can push that one up the line, and the second one will stay where it is. So not only is it depth marker, stops any slippage with the 2, but also I can pull that up there, and I know exactly where I was fishing originally. But what I'm aiming to do is try and keep those fish nailed down on the bottom. I'm not going to loose feed anything. Everything is going to be put in with ground bait. Stick that over the arm. So like I say, not loose feeding. So I've got my ground bait. There you go. And that's Bait Tech Pro Natural Dark. That's a bag of that, so it's a 1.5 kilo bag. I've put a pint or so of brown crumb, and I've put half a bag of Bait Tech Pro Natural Bream. So that's all. The brown crumbs help give it a little bit of volume, a little bit of weight, and I mixed that up last night, and I've just dampened it down this morning. And when I've dampened it down, what I've done, I've had probably about a third of a pint of crushed hemp, and I've let that soak overnight. Then I've added that to the ground bait and damped it down on the bank, and it's perfect. I mean, all you can see there, got a squeeze, got a ball of ground bait, just mould that round, and I can throw that in. Ideal top up bait. You see, I've got a few casters in there. That's the initial feed. The initial feed's gone in, and that was 6 balls, all with caster. And all I bought with me is half a pint of casters and half a pint of maggots. So I've put half the amount of casters in with the ground bait, and I've got some maggots just right on the hook. Like I say, I've got some sweet corn in the bag, but I'm just going to fish a single maggot, a single caster, and keep running it over that line. The river's moving at the moment, so it's a nice little bit of movement. As you can see with the peg, where that bit of shadow is from that bush, I've fed the ground bait in that area. So just to the right of that shadow, but it's all within that shadow. So as I'm running down, I'm casting just to the right of it, then I'm running down over the top of my ground bait. I'm not going down the swim too far, but like I say, I'm casting just to the right. By the time the float hits the stop knot, I'm running down over the top of the ground bait, and I'll get 1 or 2 bites quite instantly. That being said, I probably won't even get a touch now. Been 1 or 2 fish rolling as well. Got my mate Ivan, going to fish the feeder and fish the whip to my left. Hopefully he might get 1 or 2 bream, odd skimmer, because like I say, I have seen one roll, so there's always a chance. So I'm going to punch this out there and just sink the line, 2 or 3 turns on the reel. That's it. Just feed the line through, then that will hit the stop knot. There we go. So I've hit the stop knot now. Now we're literally starting to run over the top of the ground bait. Good boy. Bumped him. So I'm probably fishing about 4 or 5 inches over depth. And I mean, that be told, what we got, 14, probably fishing about 16, 7, probably about 17 foot deep, maybe just over. So punch it out, just to the right, and like feed the line through, and like I say, when that settles, we're over the top. Right, we're now over the top of the ground bait again. Like I say, it's running a little bit, so it's just starting to now hit the ground bait, bite straight away. There's a lot of little fish about, a lot of roach, little skimmers. That was a little skimmer or a hybrid, little blobber slime on the hook. So get rid of that, don't want that on the hook length. So just feather it as that goes through the water. A few turns on the reel, sink that line, get that float popped up to exactly where you need it. It's now at the stop knot. So it's good depth of water. Absolute perfect day for having a go on the slider as well. If it is dotting that float down, you can also see if a fish picks the bait up. I'm not running too far down my peg. I'm probably going about a third the way down my peg. So I want to try and concentrate those fish in that area where I've fed. Especially me as though it's running at the moment. I don't want to go too far down. It's odds on that the water's going to stop as well. So that's perfect having that bait there. I'm just cast in that shadow. Boy. No need to rush anything. So fishing 010, so I'm not gonna, if I was fishing heavier I'd probably swing fish out this size. But we ain't. It's beautiful. A beautiful little skimmer. Sunday morning, 10-mile skimmer. Beautiful. Hee hee. See if we get one or two more, and I'll catch up with you in a bit. Booty. Well, the flow's just stopped. So I put a couple of balls of ground bait in just before it stopped. Just laying on the bottom now. I'm a double maggot. Just had this baby. Beautiful fish. Absolute beautiful fish. So I'm laying on. Now the flow stopped, I'm laying on. That was actually a little tiny lift on the float. Oh, that snot on the line, look at that. Lovely snot. No, it's not. Just get rid of it all. As much as you can get rid of. You won't get a bite with that on your line. So I'm just fishing double maggot. Sun's trying to come out through the clouds. So punch it out there. Don't get a tangle on the reel. couple of turns. So let's tuck that on the drop. Little Johnny Wango. Little twist. One. There we go. Come on. Little Johnny Wango. Punch that out. So I'm actually casting over the top where I've fed the ground bait. It might back up a little tiny bit. Casting over the top. That's right snotty towel, look at that. So like I say, I'm just laying that on. Probably sort of 6 inches, 7 inches. If it does start to back up, I'll just go back to like I was before, about 3 inch on bottom. Ivan's catching 1 or 2 skimmers next door as well. So all is good in the world. A little bit of a lift bite there. Really is a beautiful morning. So that's all I bought with me. Maggots and casters. I've had a couple of fish on caster, but it's all been mainly single maggots that was running through. Like I say, now we're laying on, just fishing double maggot. Wait a lot longer for a bite, but if you get 1 or 2 like I just had, well worth waiting for. So it's really weird when it's running. The minute that stops, it's just as if every fish in creation just disappears. Takes a long while to almost to get confidence again. And sometimes this is where fishing the pole is better than fishing a rod. Like I say, that slide just sat out there lovely. And now I've got that dotted down. That's either going to rise up slightly, or that's just going to disappear out of sight. Just put a double caster on. So I've put some caster in the ground bait. A lovely skimmer. Beautiful skimmer. So like I say, just been that flow stopped, so I've just put just that little bit of extra depth on, because that's just starting to back up a little tiny bit. Flies. I've just put double caster because it's a disease, Ian. It's a disease. So hook the one in, push it round the bend, and just slip the other one by the side of it. So I'd had one or two decent sort of better sized skimmers laying on. So I thought I'd just see. So I've been putting caster in the ground bait. If we can get one. And we did. As you can see now, it's gone flat calm. Beautiful, beautiful morning, really is. So I've just got that set, like I say, probably about 6-8 inches over. And that's that right over the top, where that ground bait's gone in. Just before it stopped, I put 3 more balls in. Just a little bit to the right, bang smack where I'm sat now. And now and again I'll just give it a little sort of twitch back, bring the bait up off the bottom. Probably got about 5 mil sticking out the water on the float. So like I say, that'll either just slowly disappear, or that'll come up probably about 1.5 centimetres out the water. And that's the bite. little tiny indication. See, there was a lot of bubbles coming up over that other side, sort of when I started. Did see one bream roll. Like I say, I'm going to fish till about 11:30 midday. It's about 10:15 now, so another hour or so. Should get one or two more. Well, it's been a beautiful morning. Started off catching a couple of roach. Then majority of the time it's all been skimmers. I've had a couple more roach. So since that flow eased, the bites have been harder to come by, but by laying it on, still picking up the odd fish. I haven't loose fed nothing, just put it all with the ground bait. Sort of topped up twice, I think it is. So about 3 balls, 3 balls. Needs backing up a tiny bit. Little roach. But it's been very enjoyable. Hopefully be back down here again next week. Weather's meant to turn a little bit, meant to get a little bit rain through the week. Wind's meant to get up, so might not be too favourable for fishing the slider. If we get a back wind, especially along here, provides a little bit of shelter. So he's never fished a slider before. It's perfect water to come and have a go on. Nice and deep. You can get a day ticket or a book on the bank. Like I say, I'm fishing probably about a quarter of the way out, third of the way out, something like that. If you go sort of halfway, a little bit more, that'll drop off about another foot or so as well. Deeper water is over. This is just as it's going down, that levels off a bit, then that will drop down again. There we go. Nice fish to end the session on. Nice silver bream. Pommy, guster, whatever you want to call them. A silver bream, got the big eye, no slime, darker fins. That's why you distinguish them along here from a little skimmer. So from me and this little silver bream, I'll catch you next time on the bank.